Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct, the best place in the world, the place where you are understood, the place where we are forging new alliances, where we are forging a new way of life. Okay, today we're going to be diving into another Healthy Gamer GG Dr. K video. We'll be discussing, is his advice still relevant? Okay. Um, Oh, like he always comes across my YouTube feed, and like some of the stuff he says is just so generic, and quite out of touch with what the current generation, possibly Gen Z, even millennials, you know, what a lot of these people are going through. Gen X, no, I think Gen X is older than millennials, so it's millennials, Gen Z, and well, right, anyone under the age of 40, basically. You know, a lot of people follow his advice, and I believe his advice is outdated. His advice is not up to scratch, right? What you have to realize is, Dr. K is probably somebody in his late 40s, early 50s, and he sees the world through his lens, through the lens of therapy. But the advice he gives to me seems outdated. And today we are exploring whether his advice is still relevant, whether his advice is still good, whether his advice can help people achieve their goals, whether his advice can um, help people navigate the complexities of the current world. Okay, we live in difficult times, we live in times of crises, right? The people that we trust, the elites who make decisions on behalf of us, they have sold us out. They are no longer trustworthy. And many people that I meet, yesterday I went into central London, and I checked out this pub called the Devonshire, right? The Devonshire pub. Apparently, it serves the best Guinness in London, and I enjoy Guinness. I went to Dublin. I've been there twice. Once in 2009, I went there for St. Patrick's Day when I was like 20 years old or some shit. We went, me and my friends from university. We went there on a 24-hour trip to Dublin to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Um, we flew in, right? We flew in straight away, had some breakfast, and then just hit the pubs, celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Going through in and out through around Temple Bar, all the touristy places. Um, watching the street parade, watching the people, meeting people, right? Meeting the real life people in Dublin. Spending there the whole day, 24 hours, and then flying back the next day. We didn't book a hotel. We slept in cafes. We slept on park benches in the afternoon when we were already drunk. We started drinking at 12 and then got drunk by 4 o'clock, and then had a nap in the park for like half an hour, right? Then grab some coffee, and then 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock onwards, we started drinking again, and all the way up to 2 a.m. And then we 2, 3 a.m. Yeah, and then we took a cab to back to the airport, and then waited till 6 in the morning. Slept in like on the benches on the floor of the airport, Dublin airport, and then we flew back to London. It was fun. It was the time to do it. In your 20s, you do that crazy shit. And then I went back a couple years after, and then more sophisticated, more of a refined palate, and I developed a taste for Guinness. So I really enjoyed Guinness there. It is definitely better there because basically everyone just drinks it there. It's constantly flowing, so it's always fresh. And that does make a difference. I believe the Guinness that they serve in Dublin is not pasteurized, which makes it better. Um, I the Guinness you get here in England is pasteurized, I believe, and that's why. And most people don't drink it here, right? They drink as a one-off. They don't constantly drink it, but I enjoy it. And then when I heard that that pub serves the best Guinness in London, I went over there to check it out. I went over there, and it was good. It was so busy though. the Devonshire, you know, it's in Piccadilly Circus, just off it in an alleyway. It is so busy. You're not going to be able to like, unless you get there early, right, and barge your way in, right, move people out the fucking way. You are going to be stuck, like literally standing by the bar. So I went there with, I met a friend, and like we were literally, um, got our pints. We put our order in. Obviously, with Guinness, there's a backlog, and also, it needs time to settle. And we waited a couple of minutes, got our drinks. And it was so busy, we just literally had to stand like at the side of the bar, right? No seats, no bar space, just like in the middle where people just literally walking past us. We had it, and it's definitely creamier because it's constantly flowing. So it is definitely creamier. But it felt quite thin, right? And in Ireland, I remember the Guinness is quite thick, right? It's this creamy, thick texture to it. And I believe it was creamy, definitely creamy because of the heads, right? Because it's constantly pouring, so the nitrate, the bubbles, the foam that it makes it definitely creamier, and it's just sticking to the glass as you go down. But as you're drinking it, it is a little bit on the thin side for my liking. I like it a little bit thicker, especially when you get to the bottom. That's when you know if it's really real or not. It's definitely creamy still right until you get to the end, but it's a little bit thin for my liking when you get to the end. However, it was so busy. We had our one pint, and then we went to another pub across the road. I believe it's called the Crown, the Crown Bar, the Crown Pub. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. But it's literally like the other side of the fucking road. It's another pub, and we thought let's just go in there, and let's compare Guinnesses. Let's compare it, right? And then we walked in there. It wasn't busy at all. I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't packed, right? So we got like a couple spots by the bar, so we had something to lean on at least. And we ordered the Guinness, and it wasn't as creamy, but it was thicker. The actual Guinness, the stout, was thicker. It wasn't as creamy, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy that second pint. Um, you know, if the Devonshire wasn't so busy, I would recommend it. It's just like, do you know what? Like, it's not worth it. It's not an enjoyable experience. So go and taste it yourself if you're ever in Piccadilly, London. Enjoy the pint, but it's is it worth it? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, we explored Dr. K. Is his advice relevant? Let's jump straight in. Let's see what he has to say.
Real, how do you find them? The more messed up your dopamine circuitry is, the harder it is to fall in love.
So this video is called You're Not Going to Meet Your Soulmate on Hinge, which is ironic because we are moving towards a point in life where everything's being digitalized. Love is being digitalized and monetized. And that is how the new generation is dating online.
Dating apps actually shoot us in the foot because they're selecting for friendship. They're selecting for compatibility. But compatibility is not love. Today, we're going to talk about soulmates. So if you look at the world today, everyone wants to find, well, I don't know if everyone wants to find, a lot of people want to find their soulmate. But if we look at sort of outcomes data and things like that, it's really, really...
The idea of a soulmate used to make sense because people believed in things like love. People believed in meeting that special someone, saving yourself for that special someone. But today's society where casual dating, casual sex is incentivized, is applauded, especially for women, to explore your options. If you are making love with everyone, is love even a possibility at that point, right? The more people that you experience, the more partners that you have, the more solid you become as an individual, but as a trade-off that you don't get to merge your soul together with a partner, and you're less likely to allow yourself to become codependent, build a relationship as a couple because you will always see yourself as an individual exploring their choices.
Really hard to find a soulmate in today's world. Dating is an absolute mess. The number of dick pics exchanged is at an all-time historic.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Dr. K is like he is so fucking cringe. Like, you know, he thinks the crux of the problem is dick pics, right? And then he mentions dick pics, and then he, you know, you can hear the laughter in the back of his voice. Like, let's face it, this guy, when he was at university, when he was in school, when he was at high school, he was a nerd, right? Like, I bet he is like a 5'5" Indian guy, not very tall. You know, I doubt he had many options in dating with women. I'm Indian myself, right? But I'm like, you know, I'm 5'10". You know, so height never been a problem with me. I'm average height. Fuck it, who gives a shit? Okay. You know, but I've dated women, and you know, like if I was to say the word dick pic, you know, my voice doesn't crack. I don't start, you know, getting all flustered. Oh my god, a dick pic, right? As Dr. K does, right? Like for him, it is a taboo subject, which means he's just not comfortable with the idea of discussing sex, right? Which is a problem. Which is funny, right? Because I assume because he has spoken about being in ashrams, meeting yogis in India, that he is a Hindu, right? I'm making this assumption, right? Someone can clarify whether it's true or not. But he discusses Hindu texts. He describes Vedic practices, Hindu practices, meditation, and all that shit. I'm not Hindu, by the way. I'm not Muslim either. Either way, I think he's a Hindu, but he's not very comfortable talking about sex, right? Like boobs, tits, ass, right? Cock, okay, vagina, pussy. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I'm saying it, it's like, yeah, I've had sex, great, okay, you know, like all adults do. Whereas he, you know, he's like, oh my god, let's talk about sex. He like that. There is this nervousness to it, which I just find a little bit cringe. Which means all it means is right. I'm not hating on the guy. Although I get a lot of hate messages saying that I do because I make video content about this guy, but I'm not hating on him. What it means is like, is he the right guy to give you the fucking advice? Right? I know he's a therapist, right? But when it comes to the subject of text, when it comes to the subject of sex, not text, sex, he gets a little bit shy and timid about it, right? And that is just an observation. And right, like you can go through his fucking videos, you can have a look what he is saying. He does, you know, like already, like I'm gonna let's put it back a little bit. You know, he gets a little bit flustered.
Absolute mess. The number of dick pics exchanged is at.
He's holding back a laugh. Do you get what I mean? And it's not even like I don't think like most people exchange dick pics. Like I've never done it, right? I've never sent anyone a dick pic because it just sounds cringe, man. Like like, oh, do you want to suck my dick? Like, hey, do you want it? Right? Like, do you want it? I don't know. I find the idea of sending dick pics cringe. Asking for nudes, I find cringe, so I don't do it because, like, wouldn't you rather just see the fucking pair of tits or someone's ass in real life than a picture of it? Like, what are you gonna do with a picture? I'm gonna jack off to it. Like, I don't think so, man. Um, that is just me. I don't know, man. Like these younger people, who the fuck knows what they're into? You know, but it's just not a way to live life. You know, live life by having options. You know, building. This is what we do here at Raw Instinct. You know, we are building kingdoms. We are building communities. We are building nations. We're going past, right? Like this is a place. You know, it isn't for normal people. This channel. Okay, you have to understand. This channel is not for normal people. It is for people with serious intelligence and serious ambition, right? And if you have both intelligence and ambition, right? Like literally, wouldn't you want to live life at the fucking top? All right. Wouldn't you want to live life of luxury? Okay. Surrounded by luxury, private islands, all that shit, right? That is what we want here, right? And what we do here at Raw Instinct, we find people, we are finding 100 people, 100 kings who want to become kings, establish their kingdoms, and we want to rule together and overthrow the current establishment, right? You might not be from a noble family, you might not be part of the Rothschilds, you might not be part of the um, A-list celebrity class, the politician class, the banking families in the world. You know, you might not be a trust fund kid, right? So how are you going to make it in the world, right? It has to be through pure grit. It has to be through your own ambition. But what we do here, we are planning a group of friends, a group of amicis, which is Italian for friend, a group of kings who are building side by side a new world, a new alliance to take over the world, to bring about a new world order. And, you know, many people, it will go straight over their fucking heads, right? They won't have a clue it is that I'm talking about. But if you are somebody who understands what I'm saying, then you need to reach out to me. Let's work together. And don't allow Dr. K with his, you know, he's not sex savvy. He probably only fucked one girl, and he's what, you know, his wife is the only girl he ever fucked in his life. And you know, he is very uncomfortable around sex.
An all-time historic high. We see, you know, the lowest fertility rates that we've seen in many, many, many decades or centuries. In East Asia, in the United States, and in the Western world, people are getting married later. Fewer people are getting married. The number of kids that we're having is going down. People are struggling.
Yeah, a lot of the reason for that is because it's just too expensive to date. It's too expensive to have kids. And you know, the elites, the way they are structuring society, the way that they are planning society, it is leading to a world where many people are finding it, you know, the dating market is a place where they can't succeed. Okay. And here on Raw Instinct, what I'm saying is like, look, I understand what the current problem is, right? And most of humanity, most of men, right? Most people in the world, they will fail, they will be enslaved, they will not succeed. Okay. I'm not here to save most of the people. I'm here to save the people that I care about, people that understand what I'm saying, who will make great friends, right? Great company, great people to party with. Okay. Because I am establishing my own system, I'm leaving the current system, and I am moving away from these nations, buying private islands. And I suggest that you do the same. I suggest that you become somebody who is aware of what is going on and wants to do something about it, right? Like, do you want to be do you want to be number 2 in your life, or do you want to be number 1? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to have total freedom, or do you want to have some freedoms, right? But half the time, I tell you what to do, or somebody else tells you what to do. Do you want that? No. You want to have total control over your life. You want to have total autonomy over your life. And that is here a Raw Instinct. That is what I'm encouraging you to do. That is what we discuss. That is what we're building. A group of people who are totally autonomous, who are totally free, and who have abundance of money, able to buy private islands and establish a new system. Okay. And yeah, the people here at Raw Instinct, the kings that I'm working with, we will have plenty of kids. We will be, you know, bring about the new leaders of the world. They'll be part of our bloodline.
Struggling. There's a loneliness epidemic across the globe that is probably the worst loneliness epidemic that we've.
Yeah, most people are lonely because they have no friends, and friendship is really important. Friendship is probably more important than your actual dating life, because your dating life comes from the quality of your friendships. Okay, and here at Raw Instinct, what I am doing is we are establishing that core group of friends, and then, you know, we will have plenty of models, plenty of women lining up to become our queens
Ever faced as the human race. So despite the fact that we have so many opportunities for connection, we are the loneliest that we've ever been. And then there are all these things called dating apps, right? And these dating apps
But even the way he says there's these things called dating apps, bruv, everyone fucking knows what a dating app is, right? Everyone knows what dating app is. Why are you like pretending like, there's these things, these weird things called dating apps? No, we all know what fucking Tinder is. We all know what Hinge is. We all know what, you know, Match.com is. Okay. The biggest one is SugarDaddy.com, by the way, right? Because most women want fucking money, so they all sign up to SugarDaddy.com to find a rich man to be a provider in their life. And that is how the world works, okay? But I bet he won't touch on this subject, will he, Dr. K?
Promise that, hey, if you use this app, you will be able to find love, find your soulmate. I don't know if they promise that. I don't know what they actually promise. But something weird is going on because...
Did you just catch that? He doesn't even know what they promise. So why are you qualified to even talk about it? Right? You're about to give a whole fucking speech, a whole spiel about why you won't find your soulmate on a dating app, on Hinge, but then you don't even know what they provide. You don't even know how it works. You've never even fucking opened it. Have you ever downloaded it? Probably not. He's married. He doesn't have to. I understand that part. But, you know, for research purposes, have you ever even downloaded and had a look at what it fucking offers? No. No. He does not do it. He is just... You have to understand, this guy is just making fucking content so that you become a pay pig in his curriculum of therapeutic modalities that he's trying to sell. You know, the courses he's trying to sell, the therapy he's trying to sell to you. That's all he wants. He just wants you in his funnel. And he's like, what's trending now? Oh, dating apps. Oh, yeah, casually. Oh, there's these things called dating apps. Like, that's not how it fucking works. Okay, Dr. K. I see through your lies.
As our access to potential partners has actually increased theoretically.
Yeah, he understands how a dating app works. So the access to partners increases, but he's never even used it. He's never opened it. He doesn't know who the people operating on it is. He doesn't even know for the fact that, like, you know, on Tinder, for like a lot of women, right, a lot of OnlyFans girls use Tinder as a funnel for their you know, to funnel potential customers into the OnlyFans, right? They're like, you know, because like I used to use Tinder, and you message someone, they'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, I love to chat, but like, you know, I don't like using, you know, I don't like using this Tinder app. Oh, you use this link and message me on there, and then you click on it, and there's a fucking link to an OnlyFans page, right? And you're like, a lot of people, but they're like, oh, like, yeah, man, she personally messaged me to fucking talk to me on OnlyFans. It's only $5.99. Yeah, I'll do it. And then they spend the money, and then they're talking to some fucking guy who's running her OnlyFans page. Okay. I've never paid for that shit. It is fucking, you know, for me, it's just weird. Like if you want to talk to me, give me your number, you know, send me your WhatsApp, send me a Telegram, and we can talk on there. But it's like, I'm not paying $5.99 so you can upsell me a picture of your fucking arsehole.
Right? The cool thing about dating apps is I can run into and interact with people that I would not normally run into. People are like struggling even more than ever. And so then this question becomes, okay, do you want to find your soulmate? Are soulmates even real? And if they're real, how do you find them? So this is such a challenging question to answer.
And he's not qualified to fucking answer it, because he's never even experienced the dating app. He's never experienced it. He is out the loop. You know, he who knows how he met his wife. I don't know his backstory or whatever, right? But he probably, some introduction, like she probably clocked like, oh, this guy's a therapist, he's gonna make some big money, and then she latched onto him.
Because there aren't studies on soulmates, right? No one's doing randomized controlled trials or prospective cohort studies.
Let me tell you about soulmates. Okay. Let me tell you a couple of 3 things about soulmates. Okay. If you get that reference, good on you. If you don't, then fuck you. The thing with soulmates is there are no soulmates. Okay. Your soulmates, right, are more likely to be your friends. Okay, because they are more aligned with you spiritually, without getting any sexual transaction in return. Okay, out of that friendship, someone can come, like a woman can come along, and you can have that sexual transaction as well. But like you're more likely to align through friendship first than through just sex, right? The other thing is, in today's world, most people's souls have been decimated to the point of where, you know, like you can't establish a soulmate connection if the girl that you're meeting has no soul. Okay. Then it's not even the fact that they're selling their souls. It's like they're actively decimating it, right, by listening to modern age propaganda, by listening to modern age feminism, by listening to this woke culture, this woke nonsense, which is all designed to um tear apart and eat itself from the inside. Western culture, modern culture, the culture that has a conservative culture, like in the fact that the thing that has allowed the modern world to flourish, it's trying to tear it apart from the inside, like a cancer, like a disease. I mean, if that makes sense to you, then you like the fact that there are no more soulmates makes sense. So you're better off, because having a soulmate kind of indicates that, oh, you should only be with one woman, you should only be with one man. um for most women, I believe, yeah, you should only be with one man, because if you're juggling yourself through multiple men, you can never respect any one man, right? Like, because you can only give yourself to a man that you respect. Okay. And if you respect another man more than another man, right, then there's always going to be this imbalance of power. Whereas a man, okay, he's not looking to respect a woman, he's looking for loyalty, companionship, he's looking for reciprocation from a woman, right? um and you can get that from many women, right, if they're competing for you. And if you position yourself as a king, if you build a kingdom, if you are seen as a point of authority, if you're seen as somebody who is in charge, you'll get many women lining up to be your queen. Okay, because every woman in the world sees herself as a queen, and naturally, once they see themselves as queens, they want a king. So that's why you have to position yourself as a king in their lives.
On soulmates, how do you define it from a scientific term? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is when we talk about love, what does this mean? So the thing about soulmates is that we fall in love. So this is a paper called Critical Review of the Meaning of the Concept of Love. Great paper. There was a researcher in 1977 who conducted an in-depth research into the phenomenon of love and found that the concept of love can actually be decided into several different types or sub-aspects. Okay, so this is something that was actually defined in, I think, ancient Greece. So eros, this type of love is characterized by strong and passionate passion. People feel fascinated and crazy about their partner, classic form of romantic love. Okay? So when you find your soulmate, do you feel passion? Do you feel fascinated and crazy? Ludus, this type of love reflects a more
Yeah, that just sounds like lust. That doesn't sound like passion or love. It sounds more like lust. And I remember when I was 20, I thought I was in love with this girl, and then like now as a older gentleman, somebody who's in my 30s, I recognize it. Yeah, it was just like I just lusted for her big bum, her cute smile. But yeah, it wasn't real love. It was more like lust. But I did care for her, like, but it was more sexually driven. It was more like, like I just wanted to, because when you're so young, when you're inexperienced in your, when you're 18, 19, 20, whatever, when you're that age, you don't have perspective, you don't have that much experience, and you are somebody who will mistake or confuse feelings for just sexual gratification.
competitive or playful approach to relationships. People who adhere to this type of love tend to see relationships as a game to be won or as a challenge to be completed, right? So this is kind of a more playful.
Yeah, like a challenge to be completed, which basically means that once you have sex with that person, it's done. Okay, which is what I was saying. It is more lust than actual love.
Love, it's kind of like, who wins in the end. So storage, the type of love that grows from friendships and relationships that build on similar interests. So this is a love that slowly grows and develops from the intimacy and mutual understanding that has existed over a long time. So when people say, like, how do I get out of the friend zone? Right? This is a big debate. Can someone who...
It's not a debate. Like, how do you get out the friend zone? Like, don't allow yourself to be in a position where you are in the friend zone. Do you get what I mean? The reason why the friend zone exists is like you have to look at it from a woman's point of view. So like, why does the friend zone exist? It's like, oh, this guy is really nice, right? Which doesn't mean boyfriend material or friend. It just means this person is a nice person. Okay, This person this man is a person I can trust. Great. Okay. This person is a man I feel safe and comfortable around. Great. Right. But this is a person I don't want to have sex with. Friend zone. Okay. This is a person I want to have sex with. Boyfriend material. That it comes down to how do you get out of the friend zone? You have to become, in her mind, a person that she wants to fuck. Right? You have to be the person that she wants to fuck, and that's how you get out the friend zone. Okay, if you're in the friend zone and you're trying to fuck, the only way you can do it is by graping her, right? And we don't advocate that on here. I'm laughing at it because it's just like oh, I'm gonna grape my friend. It's like I'm sure people do it, but it's like whatever. Yeah, the only way you can get out of it is that the fact that she finds you hot, the fact that she finds you sexually compatible, that she wants to have sex with you, and then she spreads the legs for you. That's how you get out the friend zone. Anything else, it is just a friendship then at that point.
If you've fallen in love with your best friend, can something happen? Yes, I think the answer is yes. Pragma, love that is seen practically or pragmatically. People who adhere to this type of love tend to choose partners based on practical criteria such as suitability of values, social status, and financial stability. Power couples. Relationships as a means to achieve goals or fulfill certain needs. Mania is a type of love that tends to be obsessive, may feel anxious or insecure in their relationships, tend to pursue their partners with a need for constant attention and validation. Characterized by strong and unstable emotions. Agape love, a form of love based on commitment, sacrifice.
This is the thing, man. Like this guy's just reading off definitions, so he doesn't really know. He's never experienced any of this shit, right? I know a little bit of his backstory because I watched some of his videos, right? He went to university, he didn't know what to fucking do, so he went to meditate in India in an ashram, okay, in a place where basically you just meditate and follow some spiritual guru. He asked the guru a few questions, and then he decided that he wants to become a doctor of psychology because that's what he found interesting. Great. I'm all for that, by the way. Find what you're interested in, find what you're passionate about, and follow that shit. And then somewhere along the line, he met his wife, his current wife, and then now she is pushing him to make more money so that she can live a great lifestyle. Yeah, like that's his whole dating experience. Like one woman. He doesn't understand the plight of a normal person in the Western world trying to date, trying to find a soulmate, trying to find a wife. He's never experienced it. He first girl that showed any interest that he married her.
And selfless care for one's partner, altruistic and ennobling love, prepared to make sacrifices for the happiness and well-being of their partner. So the first thing that I want to point out, see, when we talk about finding your soulmate, what does that mean? Does that mean that you fall in love with someone? But if we look at the concept of love, it actually encompasses a lot of different things. And I think the first mistake that we make when we try to find our soulmate is that we mix all of these things together. So I think this is where we see the first problem with dating apps, which is that if we...
The problem is he's trying to rationally deconstruct love. He's trying to rationally deconstruct dating, but dating is irrational. It is literally, it's about like from a man's point of view, it's like, oh, that girl's got a hot body, now I'm interested. And then from there you delve into a personality, if you're fit, whatever, blah blah blah. But it comes, the first thing is sexual interest. And from a woman's point of view, it's more, her sexual interest isn't piqued by a man's physical attributes. It's more about his status, his ability to command a room, to command his environment, his ability to gain resources. Okay, so a woman's spectrum is wider than a man's one, because a man's is literally, it's like boobs, ass, face, right? Is she hot? And then it goes from there, like all the other, right? Like it starts superficially and then goes into non-superficial areas like a personality. But on the other end, from a woman, it is superficial in the sense of money, like strength, genetics, right? Like, and all the other personality things again they come in later, because a lot of the time, you might be autistic, right? But if you fit her image of what she wants to date, she'll put in your autistic traits as like, oh, they're so charming. Okay. So you have to remember that a lot of it, the way you present yourself, it doesn't matter how you present yourself, is how the other person at the other end interprets it. Okay. And yeah, like this is something that Dr. K has no experience in.
You look at it, right? So there's a practical kind of love, right? So we have pragma love. So this is a love where it's like you're looking at this other person and you're saying, I'm this religion. I want kids. This is what I want my financial. I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want my partner wants to be married to a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad, right? They want to work. They want someone to be at home with the kids. They want to have kids. We have a similar religion. This is qualitatively different from passion, from eros, from mania. So that's a second dimension. Now, I think the biggest problem, and this is why it's important to understand that these two things are different, because the majority of using dating apps, we're selecting for pragma, not passion. We're not falling in love. We're gauging people like job interviews. So this is actually closer to matchmaking. Relationships have never been easy. Anytime you interact with someone, you're dealing with their unique soup of emotions, expectations, and even traumatic baggage. And the fact that we're all texting now and dating apps are a thing is not making things easier. That's why we developed a coaching program to help our community with modern relationship problems. So if y'all are struggling with your relationships, check out the link in the description below. So in India, even to this day, we have arranged marriages. So arranged marriages are when like your parents and somebody else's parents get together. They look at your religious, like, do you eat meat? Do you drink alcohol? Are you like financially stable? Do y'all want to have kids? Like they look at all of these factors and they try to match them up. It is a pragmatic approach to love. And love is not even a part of that, right? So it's like, even in arranged marriages, what tends to happen, so this is like how it's been described to me, is that you match initially. And so I was talking to, one of my close family friends, and I was asking him, like, what was it like when you met your wife? And he was like, we met the day before we got married. And it was decided to be a good match. And then over time, so they've been married for like 40 years, and happily so. They've raised a couple of kids. Their kids are doing great. Their grandkids are doing great. They're like living their best life. And so...
Hang on. He's asking his friends, okay? There's a lot to unpack here, right? He's talking about arranged marriages. He's talking about, your family picking your partner. And look, I've got an Indian background. I'm Punjabi. It happens. It used to happen in my community, but even like people like myself who are brought up in the West, like we don't want to, like, it's very rare that you still get arranged marriages. If you're a Indian person living in the West, brought up in the West, right? If you are, like I was born in England, like it's very rare that you would, like somebody born in England that would have an arranged marriage, okay? And then you're talking about your friends got married and they had an arranged marriage, and they've been married 40 years. So that means that your friends are in their 60s. Okay, like I imagine your friends got married when they were 20, right? Like let's imagine like they're really young, okay, and they got married when they were 15. Okay, but they've been married for 40 years. Okay, so now your friends are 55. How does this help a 20-year-old that watches your channel? Right? This is what I mean. Dr. K's fucking information, Dr. K's, the advice he gives, the examples he gives are so out of touch, right? He's like, oh yeah, like my friend who's been married for 40 years, right? What's that, a baby boomer, right? He's a baby boomer, but like they've been married for 40 years and they met on the day of the wedding. Like, what has that got to do with modern dating? In a world where women can sell their pussies online, right? They don't need a man for financial stability. Most people hate their own family. Right? A lot of people come from single parent homes. Okay. What has that got to do with your parents finding you a woman, finding you a man that you meet on the day of your wedding? It is totally um not it, like, you're talking two different languages here. Like, I can't even find the words because it is so far removed from what is going on in today's society in 2026. And this guy's like, yeah, 40 years ago, my friend got married and they've been married for 40 years, like, which is supposed to be a sign of a great marriage. The fact that it lasted this long and they never met until the day of their fucking wedding, right? It's because they're probably fucking losers.
And they also develop this other kind of storage love, right? So this is a love that is based on friendships and relationships. So this is like we've
Yeah, but like, you're talking about people in the 50s, bruv, right? Your friend's been married for 40 years. I want you to hear that. Like, just I'm gonna rewind it and then play it to you again, and then just listen to what he's fucking
and he's
says.
like, we met the day before we got married.
It's a little bit
And
before here.
What's
Hang
been
on.
described to me is that you match initially, and so I was talking to one of my close family friends, and
He's talking to his close family friends. Listen to this next bit.
I was asking him, like, what was it like when you met your wife? And
He's asking his close family friend, what is it like when you met your wife?
he was like, we met the day before we got married.
We met the day before we got married.
And it was decided to be a good match. And then over time, so they've been married for like 40 years. And
What type of family friend is this? Bro, right? Like, how old is Dr. K? Like you're taking advice of a 50, 60-year-old, I imagine. Like I'm shaking my head because it's like you must be at least 20 years old before you fucking get married, right? Okay. I'm let's draw the line. Okay. These people, Dr. K, his fucking family friend, they were 20 years old and got married. They've been married for 40 years. Right? That means today in 2026, they're 60 years old. Like, do you understand that? Like, they're 60. Like, people who are in their 60s, it's a totally different generation. It's a totally different way of life. Like, those things that they went through, like, this is like a pre-internet, pre-mobile phone, like there was 5 channels on TV, bruv, at the time. 40 years ago, right, is 1986. I wasn't even born then, right? And you want me to get advice of you, somebody who is referencing people that got married before I was alive. Like, I'm just trying to highlight the fact that this is the people that you're taking advice from, okay? He has no idea what your situation is, what you're going through, right? He is somebody who stumbled upon luck because he was streaming on Twitch.
Happily so. They've raised a couple of kids. Their kids are doing great. Their grandkids are doing great.
Oh, yeah, great. Like, yeah, 40 years ago, they raised kids. Right, let's find out how the kids of this 40-year-old fucking couple are doing. Right, are they having arranged marriages? Okay, like, and the way he just casually, just like, oh yeah, my family friend, they've been married for 40 years. I asked him, what's the secret to a happy life? He's like, I met my wife on the day of my wedding. 40 years ago, in 1986. I wasn't born then, right? Were you born then? I don't know, man. Like, a lot of his followers are like fucking, like, they're in their early 20s, I imagine. Like, just be aware of the hypocrisy. Be aware of the lies that he is spewing.
Great. They're like living their best life. And so then they also develop this other kind of storage love, right? So this is a love that is based on friendships and relationships. So this is like, we've been together for a long time. We've grown together for a long time. It's not this passionate Eros kind of love. So the first thing that we have to be careful about and we'll understand why this is in a minute, is that if we're selecting for one type of love, it may actually come at the cost of another kind of love. So,
and his reference for it is people who got married in 1986. 1986. One more time. 1986. That is his example. That is his reference point for foregoing a passionate type of love, a dating love, to meet somebody on the day of your wedding in order to have a healthier fucking relationship.
over time, I think you can develop them all in all of the aspects. But at the beginning, as we'll see, there are a couple of really interesting models of love and passion and intimacy that make it hard to fall in love and feel that spark and that chemistry if you are mentally approaching it like a job interview. If you're trying to find your best partner, the partner that fits with your life, this is utilizing a different part of your brain than the part of your brain that falls in love. So I think
like for me, like I'm done. I'm so done. Like I'm flabbergasted, right? Like all the bullshit he's spewing now, right? The example he's using is somebody who is not like your parents probably got married in 1986. If you're watching this right now, right? If you're somebody who's watching this right now, your parents, I bet you they got married mid 1980s. Okay. Late 1980s, mid 1980s. Yeah, I'm willing to bet, right, a lot of money on the fact that they got married around the same time as the people he's referencing and giving the advice based on what their life was like. This is why Dr. K has no clue what the fuck he's doing, right? It is all just a pump and dump. It is a scheme, right? He is as bad as Andrew Tate at this point. Okay, it is all to lure you into his fake therapeutic sessions.
what's actually going on is that what we're seeing, the reason it's so hard to find chemistry with people is because we are actually selecting for one part of our brain instead of the other. So let's talk about that for a second. If we look at studies on falling in love, what fuels passion, an integrative review of competing theories of romantic passion. So we're going to talk about two theories. So there's something called the rate of change in intimacy model, and there is something called the self-expansion model. So let's explain what these are. So if you look at like studies on how human beings fall in love, there are a couple of different models that describe the romantic love, the eros love. Okay. So here's how we're approaching this lecture. There are centuries in each.
Oh fuck.
Number one.
Okay. Basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to pass on some sort of advice, some sort of wisdom about how to meet your partner, and a lot of it in the dating market right now is because you are using dating apps. It is based off your picture and your profile, really, and people making choices based off that. So initially, your attraction is like, you know, they say a picture says 1,000 words. Okay, so whatever you write in your fucking bio is overwritten by your picture, which is why you need good pictures in your fucking bio anyway, right? You know, but if you're not naturally stereotypically handsome, right? If you don't have a chiseled body, if you don't have a you know, chiseled face, a attractive face, right? Like you're already like you are going to lose out on that. Okay. And his whole point, what he's trying to say is right now is he's like, yeah, instead of choosing based on looks, like look for more compatibility about your socioeconomic status, your family status, your religious beliefs, your political beliefs, right? Which is fair, right? But that is, who the fuck does that? Okay, and the people he's referencing, like he's referencing your parents. Like what are we fucking doing here? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I'm absolutely flabbergasted by his casualness. Right, he has no idea what he's talking about on this topic. Right, he has no idea how to navigate your life circumstances. Right, the dating market, bro. Like you have fucking 20-year-old girls being flown out to Monaco, Dubai, Miami, Las Vegas, all these places in the world, right? London, okay, like they're being flown out by billionaires, right? And they pump and dump them, right? They're thrown back out, okay. Then you have people like Jeffrey Epstein flying them out to private islands to do God knows what, right? And he's like, yeah, like, there's a few different types of love. It's like, bruv, like it's not about love anymore. Like, what an idiot.
Are they real? If yes, is there a biology to soulmates? And is there a, let's call it, spirituality to soulmates? So we're talking
like it sounds all great, biology and spirituality. It's like, no, that's not how it works. It's about you need to be seen as somebody who is a king, right? Every woman on the earth sees herself as a queen, right? How do you get a fucking queen? You need to position yourself in life, in the world, as a king, okay? And if you're able to do that, if you're able to understand what it is that I'm saying, right, that is the only way to attract someone, right? Everyone else is going to get fucked, right? Most people will never have a girlfriend. Most people will never have sex. Most people will end up sexless. And there is going to be a huge infertility crisis, where birth rates will naturally decrease. But the people here at Raw Instinct, we will continue to procreate. We will continue to have, a harem of women, people who see us as kings because we position ourselves as subject matter experts. Okay. And that is what I'm doing here. That is what I want you to do. That is the type of life that I want you to have. I'm here, I'm not here to fucking get millions and millions of fucking followers. I'm here to get the people who understand what I'm saying and understand what it is that I'm doing, who believe the same things as I do, who have the same values as I do, and want to work with me, right? And want to build a kingdom, position themselves as a king, and be seen as a king, right? Build a kingdom, right? That is what we are here to do. Build side by side, so that when shit's a fan, when the new crises in the world emerge, that we can be there shoulder to shoulder, side by side, ready to fight for one another. And if that is what you want to be part of, if you want to be part of my community, part of this community, be part of the Royal Legions of Kings, be part of the Amichis, then reach out to me. Let's see if we can work together. But this guy, man, I'm flabbergasted.
about a soul as like a transcendental concept, or is the experience of soulmates just humans in their brains? So next thing that we have to do is that there are different types of love. Eros, pragma, storge, okay? And then agape. This is the sacrificial. So now the question becomes, are there biological mechanisms towards these different things? And the answer is yes. So pragma love is going to be from your frontal lobes, right? We're making
that's what the fucking world needs. We need to understand the frontal lobe, right? Like, how hard is it to fucking get a date, right? Just go get drunk, go to a bar, and then fucking start talking to some women, right? Don't get so drunk that you're fucking sloppy, but you know what I mean. Like, have a couple drinks so you relax. That is like all throughout the last 100 years. How has anyone ever met anyone else, right? In the Western world, right? They'll go to a pub, they'll go to a bar, they'll have a few drinks, they'll meet someone, they share a few laughs, and they hook up. And from there, a relationship forms, right? That is how it's done. Not this frontal lobe, right? Like, oh yeah, let's look at your amygdala, right? Let's look at your fucking frontal lobe. Like, mate, you are so far removed from the actual issues. It is a fucking joke.
Calculations, analyses, storage.
By the way, I had a second video to look at, but this one is just so fucking dumb and hilarious at the same time. It's just like, let's just stick to that.
Love is going to be friendship, allies, partners. I'm not sure exactly where that comes from. Maybe this is...
He's not sure because he has no dating experience.
Something related to oxytocin.
He read it in a fucking textbook. This is a textbook. Like, this is a textbook therapist. Right? No experience, no personal insight. He just read it in a fucking book, right? And his books were written in fucking 1970, 1980, right? So just remember that when you're fucking signing up to his fucking course, right? He has no clue. He has no idea. Like, I am ready to denounce him. He is a fraud in my books. Okay. Like, the guy has no credibility. Yeah, he will tell you some fucking fancy story about his life, about his ashram experience, right? About his story of how he came up. But it's like you, there is no help being offered right now. Okay. You are literally just fucking giving examples out of a textbook. Tell us how to solve the dating crisis, bruv.
But maybe not. And then there's agape love, which is sacrifice. So you put this person ahead of yourselves. So this comes from the parts of our brain that give us compassion, right? So this is a different kind of love. And then we have eros. So now we're going to look at a couple of different models. So this is falling in love, this feeling of a soulmate. Like, what does it feel like to meet your soulmate? You feel so connected. You love them. You just met them and you feel a spark. That's why we're going to talk about the rate of intimacy model. Okay, so let's understand this. Here's time. Here is how well you know someone. So when I meet a soulmate, I don't know them very well. I just met them for the first time and I learn a little bit about them. And then I learn a little bit more. Then we start hanging out. Then we start hanging out more and I'm learning more. Oh my God, now we're trauma bonding. Now we're connected. Now I'm discovering this. And now, oh my God, we like all the same bands. And then eventually, actually, this is maybe a better indication of it. So now I'm falling in love, but then something starts to happen. Now I know a lot about them. Now I'm starting to, we're kind of getting into a relationship. I'm still learning things about them. These things are not as fun as before. And then eventually I know them. So what this model posits, and I think there's neuroscientific evidence of this, is that the rate at which you are getting to know someone. So how much has intimacy increased here, right? Let's say it's increased 0. How much?
There's no intimacy to fucking increase because she's not attracted to the bro. She's not even talking to the guy. Like, he's missed the whole step. Like, how is he is saying, right? You can't meet your soulmate on Hinge, right? Whereas all modern dating is online, is via Instagram, is via dating apps, right? You can't meet your soulmate on there, and then. Like, he's like, yeah, like, what about your sexual compatibility? What about your attraction? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, the men and women aren't even in the same room at this point. Right? Like the women, hot women don't exist in real life. Hot women don't exist in real life. And what I mean by that is the fact that you, right, wherever you are in the world, whoever is the hottest, the 5 hottest girls in your city, in your town, okay, in your village, they are all being funneled to millionaires and billionaires. So then now they are in different places, right? You might be in London, okay, and you might be in central London, you might be in fucking Piccadilly Circus, you might be in Tiger, right? As a man, you can get in there. Anyone can fucking get in there. It's a really shit club, right, in central London, right? But the hot women, they're in Soho House, a private member club. They're in the Box, okay? They are going to the Rain, right? Rain Club. They are in Libertine, right? They are in Tape Club, okay? Cirque. They are in Cirque on a Wednesday night. Okay, how do I know? Because I fucking go there. Okay. Like, I know how this shit works, right? So all these hot women are congregated into these high-end clubs where most men don't have access unless you pay £1,000 for a table, right? And this guy's talking about, like, yeah, like your frontal fucking cortex, like,
How much has intimacy increased here?
Like, yeah, let's increase intimacy. You're not in the same venue to meet these people to increase the intimacy.
It's increased 3. How much has it increased here? It's increased 5. How much has it increased here? Now it's increased 10. So this is like, if we're looking at calculus, it's the rate of change. The level of intimacy is...
This is what I mean. Like, he's speaking to a bunch of nerds. He is nerdifying it. He's like, yeah, let's do the fucking rate of change. Let's do some calculus. Bro, like you have no clue about modern dating. You have no clue how it works. You have no idea what is going on right now.
Accelerating. So I knew 1 fact about them today. Then I knew 3 things about them. Then I knew 5 things about them. Then I knew 10 things. So this is +2, +1 plus, oh, this is +2, so that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, nothing makes sense that you fucking talk about. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because he is pissing me off with this fucking fake calculation that he's trying to do.
The quality of love is different. The neuroscience of the love is different. So let's talk about neuroscience a little bit. So this kind of love is governed by the nucleus accumbens.
The thing is, right, like I'm about to wrap up. Like I've had enough. Like I cannot stomach this fucking prick anymore, this guy. Okay. Let me breathe. Calm the fuck down. Okay. The thing that Dr. K is missing, right? Like let me jump in here. Hang on. Look.
And dopamine. So if we
so he's talking about, you know, dopamine, he's talking about oxytocin, he's talking about the bonding chemicals. The problem with modern dating right now, okay, is the fact that they're not in the same room. You're not in the same space, okay? You might be if you're in school, right? You might be if you're in college, you might be in the same class, right? But even if somebody, if you have an 18, 19, 20-year-old in college, right, at university, she's being DM'd. If she's hot, right, I'm not talking about the ugly girls, right? You are great. Dr. K's advice works for only on ugly girls. Do you want to date an ugly girl? By the way, if you want to date an ugly girl, no hate. You do what you want to do, right? But this channel ain't for you. This channel is about living life as a king, like a royal, okay? Unleashing that royal instinct that you have within you onto the world, okay? And what we do here, we want to live the best life. We want to have access to everything. We want to live a life of luxury. We want to become the new elites, new people who run this world, right? We don't be like Dr. K, fucking having sex with like some 3 out of 10 ogre, right? Like, if that is your ambition, if you just want to, if that is your ambition in life, like, you do you, man. But this channel ain't for you. Then log off, innit? Don't fucking watch this shit, right? I don't want to see no hate comments on this video, right? Because if you're the type of person that dates that type of person, then this channel ain't for you. You're not supposed to watch it. Therefore, don't comment on it, right? This channel is for the people who want fucking 10s, 9s, right? Well, we fucking 8 once in a while, you know, when we feel charitable. Because we're benevolent kings, we're philosopher kings here at Royal Instinct. But Dr. K has no idea what he's talking about. He is talking about like only dating ugly girls. There is no way that he has any dating experience. He has no idea of the plight that young people are going through. You know, if you're a 20-year-old man, if you're a 25-year-old man, that the women that are your age that you should be dating, they are in Dubai, they are in Monaco, right? They're at the Cannes Film Festival. They're in Milan, right? And you know, you might say, "Oh yeah, I can get a fucking plane ticket to Milan. Let me go there." It's like, no. Once you get to Milan, they're in exclusive private members clubs. They're in clubs where it costs you $1,000 just to get in. Right? I've been to New York. Right? I went to One Oak. Right? It cost you like 1,500 just for a table there. Right? And that was on a like Wednesday night. Not even a Friday night. It's a Wednesday night. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, you spend like 1,500, 1,000 on a table. I've been to Las Vegas, right? In excess. Okay. If you want to get a good table, it's like two grand. Right. And even then, it's not even a good table, right? It's like, if you want to get a big baller table, it's like 5, 10, sometimes 10 grand, like depending on who the DJ is of the night. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is that don't listen to this guy for fucking advice. He has no idea what is going on, right? Yes, he's a therapist. He's got some fucking degree. He doesn't understand your plight, right? And look, I'm not trying to chase his following. I'm not trying to get that number of subscribers. I'm looking for 100 people who are willing to make a change in their life, take a risk, who understand that the way the life is set up for them now, the way that life is run, their future is in jeopardy and they want to do something about it, right? I am sending a bat signal out to the Avengers. Okay, I'm assembling the Avengers. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to join the kings here at Raw Instinct, if you want to join the people, the Amichis that I'm gathering, then reach out to me. Let's see if we can work together. But that is it. Thank you very much. And I will see you soon.